Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 2 of the Starting Six. I'm Sky. If you're new here, I know we are streaming over on Kate's channel. So shout out to all of you guys for joining from the Spurs family. Excited to have you here. This is the new Premier League panel series that we're doing here on Sunshine FC, where we're talking all things Big Six. All right. So we have a lot of amazing guests here on the channel, and I just wanted to highlight them before we get the conversation started. If you didn't know, in the description box, you can find the information for everyone. We have some YouTube channels linked. We have a Twitter account for Kels, and we have a TikTok account for Gigi. I highly suggest following them on those accounts because they are really, really funny. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce everyone. We're going to recap matches. We're going to give new predictions. We're going to do all of that. So shout out to Paul, Spurs GC, I think Shem, all of you staff, Drula. Thank you guys so much for joining in from Kate's side. Let me go ahead and get in the panelists because that's who we're here for. We want to talk about their matches, get their take on things. So let me get everyone in here, and they are in order of, how they played this week a bit. So let me get everyone started. I have to fix things, so just give me a second. Okay.
Oh my goodness!
Everyone might die. Look at Kate on Arsenal. Let me.
Whoa! I'm in first place here. I got him. Yeah, here we go. Game week 1. End the count. Or stop the count.
All right, big up. Hi guys, how's it going?
Good. Ooh, excited.
Great. Glad to have you here. We'll just jump right in. Let's talk Liverpool Bournemouth, I guess, because that's the first match of the weekend. Anyone can start. Gigi, if you want to start, it's your club. Go right ahead. But I will just get right into the reviews, talking about the matches.
I will say that it was kind of like a tale of like 3 different games within that game. In the sort of like the first phase, Liverpool looked a little bit shaky to me. Like Bournemouth had some decent chances that they could have scored. And so that had me a little bit nervous. Eventually, they kind of settled in the middle part of the game. We are not going to discuss the no-call handball. That was obviously a handball. It was literally, he was playing volleyball and trying to it
looked like a dribble almost.
Odegaard dribbled at Anfield, not that other guy.
Oh, yeah.
Odegaard did the full dribble.
And then kind of Bournemouth's comeback with Semenyo, who was absolutely incredible. And then sort of like the typical Liverpool thing that they have a tendency to do at Anfield when you're getting down to that last phase of the game, everyone is absolutely crapping their pants. And then all of a sudden they materialize some magic out of nowhere. I was really, really happy for Chiesa because he has not been used as much as I feel like he should have last year by slot. But he has always just integrated himself into the team and just been there ready for whenever he comes in. And so I really, really appreciated that for him. And then Salah got his opening day goal. which he always does. Going forward, the thing that really, really makes me nervous is the fact that Connor Bradley's legs are made out of toothpicks. Because I think if Connor Bradley is healthy, that's the right back. I feel like it was a little bit of smoke and mirrors for Kirkes, having the first game be against his old team. And literally, it seemed like Bournemouth was just like, I know everything you're about to do against me. And they just like stopped it cold. I think that Kirkes will work his way into the system. I think he'll develop a little bit more chemistry with Virgil on that side going forward. I personally have a difficult time seeing how Frimpong and Kirkes work together as the starting right back and the starting left back. I kind of feel like you gotta go with one or the other, right? Like if you're gonna have Kirkes, it's gotta be Virgil, Kanate, or Gay. We'll get to it.
Kanate was terrible.
And Connor
Bradley was awful.
Like it's gotta be one or the other. Like you either have to have solid left back, two solid center backs, and a right back that's bombing forward, or the reverse. Like you can't have both. I don't care how many defensive players they bring in. It's just not. Let me not say it's not going to work. Slot's a lot smarter than me. I don't see how it's going to work. But other than that, I thought Ekitike had the debut that I would have drawn up for him. If I was just thinking about what would my dream start for him be, it would be that. And I think that the attack going forward is 10 out of 10. No notes. We'll talk about the defense though. And that's where I'm at with it.
I think that's fair assessment. Anyone else?
I'll say as a neutral, that was a fun game to watch.
Absolutely.
Yeah. 6 goals. I mean, just back and forth, drama at the end, like just fun game to watch. You could tell Liverpool are going to score a lot of goals this season.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I agree with you about the fullbacks. I think they kind of had a shaky game. And I also think the subs who came on, because that's when Bournemouth scored their goals.
Yep.
Is when, what was it, against Endo and Robertson? Yeah. When they came on, that kind of all fell apart.
Yep.
And you can tell that the new players, they're going to take some time to get used to the physicality of the Premier League. I thought there were moments where they all kind of got bullied. There was a really fun moment in like the first half where Frimpong literally got picked up and was piggybacking on the defender. He was trying to like defend the guy, and the guy literally picked him up, put him on his back, started walking. I was like, what are we doing here? But yeah, just a fun game to watch as a neutral. And I want to give some credit to Semenyo for overcoming some adversity. Nobody deserves that kind of treatment. And so for him to score 2 goals, he was my personal man of the match just for that moment. I think some things are bigger than football. And so just sending him some love.
Yeah. I thought Kanate was an absolute nightmare. I thought he literally was shocking. But the first half, I mean, I think Ekitike looks like an absolute baller, which we kind of all knew anyway. If you get Isak as well, wow. That is one hell of a front line.
Greedy. I hope you don't.
Yeah. It's greedy, but then you look at Man City and they've got Haaland and Marmoush. So, they're greedy too. We've got Solanke and Richie, slight difference, but, we'll get onto that later. But look, I agree with what Kel said. I thought it was a really good game to watch. Just Liverpool's quality at the end shone through. I thought Bournemouth were going to nick a draw at one point, but then, Liverpool's bit of quality come through at the end.
The one thing I will say is that I am interested to see what kind of stability we'll see out of sort of like the Liverpool backline when Gravenberch returns, because he was suspended for this game.
Yeah, that's a big factor.
And so I'm nervous that how good the team looks depends so much on him. But just knowing from watching this team last year, like he is integral to the team looking like they are all on the same page. And so I think getting him and McAllister into that midfield together is going to provide some stability that they were missing. But there's still issues.
Definitely. I agree. I think for an opener, this definitely was a very, very good match to have. I mean, just the way everything played out. And I do want to say too, the best way to respond to something that Semenyo went through is with goals and letting his football do the talking. And to do that, away as well at Anfield, kudos to him. Absolutely. Just there's a lot of mental strength in my opinion. So definitely have to big him up on that one. But I mean, yeah,
One other thing I just wanted to say there is that I feel like sometimes there can be a lot of fatigue around like, oh, we shouldn't have to talk about this in 2025. Like we still have to talk about it. But I think it's important for us to take the responsibility to still continue to call these things out every single time that it happens, like, and to not succumb to that fatigue about it, because it needs to be brought to the forefront every single time it happens. And unfortunately, I don't think this is going to be the last time that we're going to deal with something like this year.
Yeah. I mean, if he's going to have the, I guess, the audacity to say it, like in plain sight for everyone to see him screaming at him, then, we have to kind of, address that. It's not okay in that regard too. Question for Gigi, thoughts on the way Liverpool created to score goals?
I loved it. I think that it will only continue to look smoother as these players get more familiar with playing with each other. I think that there were some interesting things that I saw. Like there was some interesting interplay between Wirtz and Ekitike, especially when Ekitike scored his goal. There were times that I saw Wirtz's runs drawing defenders away. And so I'm encouraged that they are already kind of developing that language between them. And I think line gets solidified and potentially another player or two are added to that front line. I think that like the more chemistry that they can develop, the attack is only going to look more streamlined.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think what makes me nervous about you three at the top is that, yes, it's the first game, but like the things that I was seeing in terms of chemistry between even the newer players and your regular, like your returning crew, and how you're able to create like those assists from Kudus. Wow. Reinders, coming on. I mean, Cherokee as well. Like I was jealous.
Told you about them.
I can't lie. We'll get into that stuff, but yeah, definitely. So, Sophie, do you have anything you want to add for Liverpool?
Yeah, I mean, I watched the game as well, and I think, as you said before, it was a great game to watch as a neutral. Obviously, I was hoping Bournemouth would have taken out the game, but you do have to give credit to Liverpool. They stepped up where they needed to, and I think at this point of the season, when it's the start of the season, I think it's just about getting them 3 points. You want to start off the season really well. So, yeah, I enjoyed watching the game. I think it was really exciting, and obviously, as you mentioned as well, what happened with Semenyo was, really awful, and I think it's great how everyone's speaking up about it, because we shouldn't be standing for these things in football as well. And it must have been hard for him to carry on playing football, but he definitely did the right thing and he had a great game. So yeah, I think with the first game, on Friday, I thought it was a really good game, and yeah, fair play. Liverpool were looking really good on the attack, and I think they're going to cause a lot of teams a lot of problems this season. I know defensively, moments you weren't great, but you're going to be a bit rusty on the first game of the season. You're going to have those moments, but yeah, Liverpool for me really started off really well.
Definitely. And like you said, it's 3 points. And I know we'll get into that more with our game because it was definitely a mid-off, but you still got the 3 points. But we'll talk about it. Okay? Moving on, we have Tottenham Burnley, which, looking at our predictions, is quite hilarious for some. But Kate, Thomas Frank, starting off your season home opener with a 3-0. Everyone's saying it's just Burnley. But I mean, I think you have to put some respect on you guys. I think. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, look, first of all, pre-season beat Arsenal. nearly beat PSG, was that close, and then come out and put on a performance like that against Burnley, which at the end of the day, in the past, Burnley have always been a bit of a struggle for us because they play the low block. And so we didn't know quite what to expect. But the difference in my team since Thomas Frank's come in is night and day. We look organised, we look balanced, we look like everyone's got a job to do and they know what they're doing. You know, we've lost our number 10, so we've had Bergvall take that role and Sarr alternately, and they're both managing it. We had Kudus, who looks like an absolute baller. You know, West Ham fans crying, saying they didn't want him anyway, and yet there's all these banners calling him a Judas and whatnot. This is the team he was born to play for, Tottenham Hotspur, because he just knows what to do. It's like he's got this third eye that knows where to be and what to do to create these brilliant goals. And then, of course, you've got Richarlison, who, trust me when I say I am his biggest critic on the planet. I'm always putting him down, and my husband, who does the stream with me, is always saying that I'm unfair. But this guy, he remembered he was Brazilian for once and just delivered us with two absolute worldies. And not only that, but he held up the ball well. He was defending, same as Kudus, and it was just a brilliant team performance. You know, great that we've had Cutie Romero sign a new contract yesterday till 2029. Jed Spence has pledged his future to us as well with a new contract. And then it's come out today that the agreement's in place for Eze. We're just waiting for the here we go. So things are looking bloody bright over in North London, as they should do, because we've been through a really crap patch. Apart from winning that trophy last season was abysmal. But I'm keeping my powder dry. I'm not getting too carried away, but I'm a little bit excited.
Yeah, no, I mean, yes, I think too, coming into a season where you have Champions League now, this is the turnaround so far that you're wanting to see with what you have coming up this season. And, you know, does Thomas Frank have the best European record? No, but, you know.
To be fair, I mean, he's not played that much in Europe. He played with the team he was with before, and that was a long time ago. I think he's very underrated as a coach, you know, and it was good to see a coach on the sideline actually getting involved, talking to the players, shouting at the players, celebrating. You know, Ange Postecoglou would stand there with his hands in his pockets and I'd be screaming at the television, just do something, you know, anything. But look, I feel incredibly lucky we've got this manager. I think he's a perfect fit for Spurs. I feel incredibly lucky we got Kudus at 55 million. It looks like an absolute steal at this moment in time. And yeah, like I say, things are looking bright. If we can get Eze in the number 10.
For that price as well, which is crazy because Arsenal paid, 52 for Madueke. So just to
remind me that.
sorry, Sophie, but
I know. I think it's just. I just think it's crazy. I mean, I think, you know, what I see it as is with this Eze situation, I think we've had the chance to get him and we've taken too long. And I knew another team would have gotten, whether it's Spurs or whoever it would be. But yeah, I mean, it just sucks really to be an Arsenal fan right now. I mean, we've won, but obviously Eze, I'm a bit sad because I really like Eze, but I could see this happening. We were taking too long, so yeah.
This is why I feel you've got to question Arteta, because he bought in Madueke in a position you didn't particularly need and spent all that money, whereas you could have got Eze instead. And now you've got to sell to buy. So had you have sold players, you probably would have got Eze. This is why I think Arteta's a bit of a clown.
I know. I mean, when we were linked to Madueke, I was like, what? I just couldn't believe it. It's just really, I don't know why we keep going for Chelsea players that are past their best or that aren't that great, but with Madueke, I'm going to give it a chance. He wasn't great, to be honest with you, the other day, but I think the left-hand side is definitely our weakness, but I would have rather gone Eze than Madueke, really, but we're in this position now, so I hope we can just find a way to go better, really.
Can I just say something on Spurs? Yeah. And this is, so seeing them play PSG and then seeing them play Burnley, for me, it was less about the actual like results of the game and like what the actual score was, but like seeing the way that Thomas Frank had them organized and the way he has them playing, I'm like, this is an actual team. Like I see the vision. And so like, yeah, I'm not putting too much stock in like, 3-0 to Burnley, but like what I am seeing is like, this looks, I recognize the organization. I recognize like what it looks like they're trying to do. And it seems like he's organizing them to play the type of football that could be competitive. And like, that was my biggest thing with Ange. I was like, if we're living in a perfect world, sure, but we are living in this world, Ange, and you have to prepare them to play in the world that we're living in. And I feel like Thomas Frank is preparing them to play in the league they're in. And so that's what fills me with confidence for Spurs this year.
Yeah. I think there's nothing at the moment, she says, hoping that she doesn't be the kiss of death, but there's nothing to feel that negative about at the minute. If we can keep Van der Ven fit, he's a key, one of the key ones.
Yeah.
Obviously we know that Ange had him running around like headless chickens last year. If we can keep him fit for the season, it's a massive plus. I've just seen someone say, "Where's Jimbo?" It is weird. I haven't streamed without Jimbo for a long time, like on this channel, so it feels really strange. But he's downstairs.
Maybe we'll have a special guest sometimes.
We'll put him in a dress.
Yeah. Anybody else on Spurs?
I think for Spurs this season, it's just about like getting better with the new manager. And I said this last show, I really rate Thomas Frank, and I've always wanted to see him coach at like a bigger club than Brentford. And so this will be kind of fun to watch Spurs this year, I think, to see how they kind of evolve, because last season was just all over the map, dreadful, like just crazy. So I think they're going to be a tough team to play, and I have to play them next week. So I'm kind of, or on Saturday.
I was going to say, we've got you Saturday morning.
Oh,
I'm so excited for that game.
I'm not. It's a bogey team, but also I live 8 hours behind time zone wise behind the UK, so I have to wake up at 4:30 in the morning to watch that.
Oh,
that's not going to be fun
as well. Wake up at 4:30 to watch yourself get beaten. Come on, you.
I did it a bunch of times last season. Just not fun.
No.
But let's see how it goes, because Spurs are. It doesn't matter who their manager is. It doesn't matter who their players are. It's just always a bogey team for us. So we'll see. We'll see if
I think they got like 4 on you last year at the Etihad.
Yeah, they ruined Rodri's Ballon d'Or ceremony. What the heck? He probably was ready to jump off the bench with half his knee and go try to win. Like, he must have been so disgusted that game.
Sophie, do you have anything? I know your favorite Spurs.
Yeah. No, I think in like pre-season as well, like when we've played each other as well, I think for Arsenal we've looked really bad, but I think for you guys, I think performances are quite important, and I think I could tell by how you've been playing pre-season that you're gonna do much better this season. I think, as you said, you've got a really good manager. I think you'll have a much better season, but I think these are games you want to be winning, because I think, like I said, starting off the season is important, but I think you are playing differently. You are playing much better. I think that's important. But I think it's about if you can doing that the whole way through the season. And because I think when you get a new manager, you can get that new manager bounce. But I think you'll still do really well throughout the season. I think for you guys finishing probably top, I don't obviously know where you want to finish in the league, but I think for you guys, I think it's just finishing in a respectable place. But for now, I think you performed well, you got the result. I think that's really good for you guys right now.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I do expect us to, well, we're obviously not going to be anywhere near the 17th place. I mean, to think we finished in 17th, but I think we got to expect a decent cup run as well with Thomas Frank. Not expect too much from him because it's the first season, but I've got really high hopes for this guy. I haven't felt this positive about Spurs since Poch was there, and I don't think we played as well since Poch was there. I really honestly don't. So I'm getting Poch vibes, but hopefully with a trophy at the end.
Yeah. Question. Romero signing new deal. Will the armband galvanize him to not make rash decisions?
Mus, I think it's a bit unfair. Romero gets a lot of stick. He's really calmed his game down. He does still have that little bozo gene in there somewhere where occasionally he lashes out when he doesn't have to. But generally, I think he has calmed his game down a lot. And I think he's taken the captain position really seriously. And for instance, the final, he was excellent. And I think there's a real sort of thing surrounding Romero that he's very rash and he makes crazy decisions and stupid tackles. But I think if you watch his game of recent times, he has calmed it right down. But I do think the fact the managers put him as captain will sort of make him even more of a role model for the others. And he's obviously been promised things and told that we're going to invest and told that we've got ambition, because there was rumours of him going. He said he really wants to win. He was critical of them sacking Hand when he's just won a trophy. So the fact he's signed a 4-year deal suggests to me that they've told him, you know, they're really going to back this guy and that they're going to go all out to win something. So it's exciting times.
Yeah, I wanted Gigi to see this comment.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Okay. Bold
I just
statement.
want to spice it up a bit, you know, but
God, I had some hot takes.
Please do not try and get me canceled the second showing. Please don't do that.
Well, if that's the case, he'd have to do it. He'd hit his peak form at his next club, because, you know, Klopp he progressively got better as he moved clubs, because
That's true.
remember Dortmund Klopp. Oof, that was a good spell.
definitely. Oh, wait, it says Joelinton, Caicedo, Sandro, Skelly, and Guimaraes are reckless too, yet we hear very little on that.
Exactly.
I think people talk about Joelinton quite a bit. And I talk about Lissandro because he's on my team, but
Joe Linton's a disgrace. He gets away with
Okay,
honestly. He's awful.
yeah.
I mean, I know we'll get to it, but like I'm nervous about Monday. I'm like, everybody stay away from him.
I am so ready for that game too, because I feel like the Newcastle fans are just going to be on one.
Oh,
yeah.
They're going to be on one.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
I love watching everyone's team but mine. So
I can understand that.
All right. City. It makes me sick, but I loved watching some of your players, Kel. What do you have to say? 4-0 versus Wolves on the road. Talk to us.
Oh man, that was fun to watch. And I did not say that last season very often, because the style of play last season was so unbelievably terrible. It was pass backwards the whole game, sideways, password, backward. It's just so awful to watch. This was energetic. It was just electric play from Tijani Reinders. What a Premier League debut. Like, that guy just slotted into a pet midfield and basically was the guy on his first game. Like, that doesn't happen. Like, even it took Rodri like 2 seasons to become like Rodri. And this guy did in his first game. Like, he was fantastic. And I really like that midfield balance, because all last season was dealing without Rodri. And I think we finally found it with 2 new players, with the pivot of Tijani and Nico Gonzalez. My fan base has gone crazy over Nico Gonzalez over the summer because we didn't think he was getting a chance and this and that. Like, we spent $60 million on him. Pep benched him like towards the end of last season. And he had a really good game. Like, he's still learning the 6 because he's an 8. He's not a 6. And so that game was like a big improvement for him. Like, based on the last game that we saw him play, I was like, he's looked dramatically better. So that was fun to watch. And the front line too. That was an interesting front line. That's kind of like the B lineup, because when we're putting together our best 11, nobody's putting Jeremy Doku in it or Oscar Bob. Oscar Bob just came back from missing the whole season last season, basically. And so to see him start a game was really, really nice to see. And God, that guy is a total baller. What he did on that second goal, dude, so good. I love it. I really want to see him get his chance this year, because I think last year he was meant to break out and then he broke his leg and we never saw him. But yeah, and also I have to shout out the new keeper, James Trafford. There's a lot of rumors going on about Donnarumma. I don't know what's going to happen there, but I believe in James Trafford. I'd like to see him play. And and Erling Haaland's back. Scored another brace on game week 1, and every time he's done that, we've won the Premier League. So who knows if that's a harbinger of what's to come.
You did not have to share that with the class.
Last season, he only scored 1 in the opening, and we lost the league. So,
Kel, do you want Donnarumma at the club?
I struggle with this because I know he's an elite shot stopper, but I just haven't really watched enough of him in the league. I've heard rumors that he's kind of lazy in the league. So and he's terrible with his feet, and that's just like not pep ball at all.
Yeah.
And I like I said, I support James Trafford. I know he had a terrible Premier League season the last time he was in the Premier League. I know he's young, I know he's inexperienced, but I think he just has the skill set. And we saw it on display in the third goal. Like that third goal happened because of the keeper. I don't think Donnarumma is ever doing that. And like nobody will ever be as good as Ederson at that, but he's been trained in the academy, so he's got the background. I just think we need to give him the chance. And so I don't know. It seems like I don't know what to believe rumor wise, but I'm okay with just risking it and going with the young guy, give him the chance to get that experience.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if we're going to win the title this season. I think we can win it. I think we have a great squad, but there's just some question marks. Like the keeper is one of them. And then I think a lot of it just depends on Rodri's fitness. And right now he's not fit. I mean, what we're doing now, it can last for a little while, but is that enough to win a league? I don't know. Last season, our midfield was terrible. We didn't even compete for the league. So I think what we have now can compete for the league midfield wise. But Donnarumma, if we get him, he is an elite player. He has had a lot of big game moments, but people forget he's also had a lot of big game bozo moments too. Like Bayern Munich and Real Madrid, he single-handedly lost those for PSG. So, but if Pep wants him, Pep is seeing something that I don't. So,
yeah, I was on the terrace last night, and Nobbins was on there, obviously a Man City fan, and he doesn't want him. He's hoping Man United try and sign him. He doesn't want him at the club. That's why I asked you. I wonder what you thought about him.
Yeah, it's just. I'm just kind of I'm a hopeless romantic for the academy. So I want to see an academy. This guy, he left the club, he came back, he had this whole story. His speeches about I wanted to come back to this club. I think I'm good enough to be the number one. So I'm kind of rooting for that guy.
Yeah, I hear that. I thought Man City looked brilliant at the weekend. That is it Reinders? Is that how you say it? I'm not good with player names. He is incredible, but amazingly, they did ratings for people on their debuts this weekend, and Kudos come out on top with 8.2 with Reinders at 8.1. So I'm just going to use that as a yay. I think this guy looks like a perfect replacement for Gundogan. I know a lot of people are already comparing him to KDB, but you can't compare anyone to KDB in my opinion. But they just look back to being really dangerous, scary. I still don't think they've got quite enough to win the league this year, just because I think Liverpool's recruitment this summer has been unbelievable. But you could just see Man City are not going to sit back and go, hey, we're just going to accept that we're falling down a bit. They're going to come back with a vengeance. And your recruitment looks excellent again, and it's scary. And he's quite
mentioned Ryan Cherky also. That guy's Brazilian. Dude, the flicks and the tricks, that goal. He's going to confuse the hell out of a lot of defenders because that guy is completely two-footed. Allegedly, his right foot's better. I was like, I have no idea.
Yeah.
And we had him coming off the bench.
Right. Coming off the bench.
Liverpool will have the better starting 11, but I think we have better squad depth because we had Turkey and Marmoush coming off the bench. We had Rodri and Foden in the stands and Vardiol at home. So we have a lot of big players to come back into this 11. So to go and do that was impressive. I thought it was impressive.
When you think of I can't say his name again, Reinders being in a midfield with Rodri and Foden, that is absolutely terrifying.
That's the best midfield in the world. I'm just
nothing.
That is Tijani. When Tijani and Rodri start playing together, I think it won't happen more until we won't get peak Rodri until maybe towards the end of the season, and maybe even into next season. But when the two of them get cooking, that is by far. It's over. That's
we play you Saturday. We play you Saturday, so we don't want that to happen anytime soon.
I don't think Rodri will be ready. And if he did, even if he was on the bench, in the squad, I don't think he's definitely not starting any games.
I think they were saying Rodri's out. They're holding him out until after the international break.
They just said he wouldn't be fit.
Oh, okay.
They were kind of vague about it.
Okay.
I interpret that as he's not starting games. But I would not be surprised if he came off the bench for a few minutes. Say we're up in another game. Maybe we won't say Kate. We don't want to trigger her. Maybe in the Brighton game, if we're up with a big lead, maybe he'll come on for 10 minutes just to kind of see it out, just to get a few minutes in the legs.
But I think with that performance, like
for a while.
They saw they don't necessarily have to rush him back. Like they don't need to do that. Take your time, let this team ride it out. Because again, you have to think about all the matches you have to play too. So I wouldn't want to rush him if I was a City fan. Just get him healthy, get him confident. Because like you said, if you get those two together, I don't want any parts of that.
Yeah.
We're thinking about who I have with Casemiro and Ugarte, trying to go up against those two. Give me a break.
That was the problem last year with our center backs is we kept having to rush them back and nobody ever got to fitness. And that was a big reason why the defense was such a disaster last season because we literally were playing academy players who were just not up for it. Like it was a mess. So if we can avoid that this season, that would be huge.
Yeah,
definitely. Anybody else thoughts before we move on?
If Reinders was on my team, I'd be just a hard eyes emoji everywhere that I went.
Oh, if you look at my Twitter, all I'm doing is propping this guy. And I said before the game, I said this is the player that Pep turns from like a very good player into an elite / world class player. So
yeah, he looked amazing.
And you saw why. You saw it on display in the first game.
I mean, his confidence, like to see him do that, his first match, like in the Premier League, I think all of us as football fans were like, wow. Absolute baller for sure.
And I will say the first 20 minutes was a little stinky from him. He needed a few minutes to get right into the game. He kept losing the ball and then we just started playing faster as a team and that's when the goals came and it just so much better. So it's like slow doesn't work anymore. We have to be a fast team. But I think now we have the players who can actually be fast.
Yeah. Because, I mean, you're at Wolves. They had of course, they have the Jota thing. Like, there's a lot of emotions going into it. Yeah, people just had to settle in, I think. But, yeah, I mean, I'm really excited for next week for you guys to play Tottenham. We'll get into that later, but it's going to be fun for sure. Let's go to ours. Me and Sophie down here in the mid-off masterclass. With the Arsenal 1-0 win at the Old Trafford, which your manager boasted about, by the way, saying, "Oh, we haven't won at Old Trafford in some time now." So he was very, very happy about that.
He's probably hoping he gets a trophy for that. Sorry, Arteta's probably trying to get one at Old Trafford trophy.
Listen, the phase, man. This is all part of phase. What is this? 6?
I've lost count of the phases.
Trust the process.
So talk to me about your win. Obviously, and I will give you credit. You got 3 points, and at the end of the day, that's what you want. But talk to me about the match for you, from your perspective.
Well, I was actually surprised that Timber and Lewis Skelly didn't start, but I thought to myself, you know what? It's the first game of the season. Let's see what happens. Bear in mind, our pre-season, I think, has been quite poor in performances-wise. We've had one good game, but yeah, I thought you started off well. We got a goal, and I thought, you know what, I'll take this. A set piece again. Set piece FC strikes again. I thought, you know what, I'll take this. And then I thought we would have done a bit more when we've scored. I thought we'd get another goal or something, but we were just awful. I think as well, our midfield may be a problem this season because obviously, it's a different partnership, resume Mendy and Rice. Might take a bit of time. Obviously, I don't think they were bad yesterday. I think they were awful. But I think another thing is with Gyökeres is that I think he's probably going to struggle if we're not going to help him with creativity. I think we might struggle with creativity this season, but I don't think people should be blaming Gyökeres at all because he's a striker. What else can he do if no one's going to pass to him up front? There's not much he can do himself. So I felt bad for him. I think it was just another, on the left-hand side again, another typical performance and how we do that. We really struggle on the left. I don't know. I just think defensively, I thought we're quite good at moments. I know in the second half, I think when we won the lot, we just thought, let's just sit back and defend. But United definitely deserved something out of the game. Maybe a win, possibly. But I do think, I will say this now, I do think that United should have got a penalty. I have seen it a few times. I think we got quite lucky. And I know as Arsenal fans, we can say stuff about the referees, but we did get away with that. I think we got a bit of luck yesterday in the game, and I think you have to have that sometimes. I think winning's important. I think, as I said before, at the stage of the season, when you started the season, you need just to win. But I do worry a bit about our performances in the long run, because if we play like that against a different side, maybe like a Liverpool, we get punished quite easily. So yeah, I do have my doubts really about our performances, but for now, I think, you know what, if we can win the league by playing ugly, I would take that. I think we just need to get over the line, but we didn't play great, and I'll take that win really.
I'm laughing there because you said win the league, and I think
I'm dying
Arsenal,
just to win it. I
I
really am.
don't think you've got any chance whatsoever of winning the league this year.
I don't even think they can get second. I'm gonna be honest.
no,
Not after what I saw this weekend.
I don't think they get second either.
I think if we'd signed Eze or we signed a Rodrigo, which I know won't happen, but if we did, I would happily tell you guys we'll win the league. But I think defensively, I think we've got a very strong defence, and I think there's no issues there. But I just think it's the attack, the midfield. I mean, Odegaard's another one. Everyone had so different opinions on Odegaard in the game, but I think he had good moments. He had moments where I think his decision making could have been a bit better, but I think he's going to be really important for Arsenal this season in that sense. But our attack, I think, is not great, and I do worry about that in the season. But yeah, I don't think we'll win the league. I know there's a lot of pundits out there that think we will, and I'm just like, have you seen our left hand side? I don't think we will, but I think we've got a chance. I think from what I've seen, I don't feel confident going forward. I'm hoping that. I think if we don't compete, then I'll be shocked. I mean, last season I don't think we really competed because we were closer to fourth really than we were to Liverpool. But I take it a game at a time and see what happens. But I'm sure every Arsenal fan will say this, but we have to win something this season. That is a must for me, and we've not won anything for such a long time, and it's just crazy to me.
Yeah, I mean,
Get it? Here we go. Have we missed some breaking
not quite,
news?
not yet.
I haven't seen anything.
We're waiting. Look, Zubimendi is a brilliant player, but I don't see that Arsenal particularly needed him because you've got Rice, and I kind of feel they're quite similar in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But I don't think Odegaard is that guy. I think Arsenal fans big this guy up, and he ghosts so many games. I just do not think he's that guy. I don't think any business you've done this year so far is enough to get you closer to winning the league. Gyökeres, he could go back to Coventry settings and just be bang average. We don't know. He's been unbelievable, but this is the Premier League. We all know it's a different animal. I just don't. Madueke is just laughable. It just made my whole window that you signed Madueke. I just don't see that any recruitment that Arsenal have done gets you closer, and yet I see Liverpool and Man City have strengthened massively, and I just don't think. The funny thing is, all the while you've got Arteta, I don't think you win anything. I don't think he's got it.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree with you. I think from what I've seen, like in pre-season, it's different. The only time that I thought Zubimendi and Rice looked good was when we played. I think it was Athletic Club, and we won that. I think, but I think it will take time. But I think only time will tell if that midfield is going to be the right midfield for us. I think on Madueke, it's a tough one because he did come on. I don't know what minute he came on, and he just wasn't good. He gave the ball away, and I just thought, like, I don't know why we signed him, but ultimately, if you're an Arsenal player, I will get behind you and hope you will do your best, and I'm sure he will. But I just feel like, is it going to be another one of those like Sterling signings, or those signings that we've made from Chelsea? And I looked at United. I thought to myself, why haven't we signed, like a Membrema or Kuna? Like, why haven't we done that? I mean, there's plenty of players I wanted, but other teams have got them by now. But I do worry about our left-hand side. I mean, I know Saka wasn't great either the other day, but he usually is quite good. So I think it's the first game. I give him the benefit of the doubt. With Odegaard, it's a really difficult one because other than last season, he's been amazing the other 2 seasons. He honestly has been incredible with the goals he's getting and how we play. I just think I do get your point there as well about in the big games, about him stepping up because, the end of last season, he got a goal when it didn't matter, when the pressure was off. I just feel like when the pressure is on, he needs to make these goals count. And I do have my worries about it all, really. I think we got the win, but I do think there's a lot of concerns. I think if you look at United's perspective, I think they didn't get the result, but there's a lot of positives to take. And for us, it's the result that only matters. So, yeah, I think for Arsenal, I think I want us to play some exciting football. I do worry that we're just going to play kind of like Stoke. People said we played a bit like Stoke, but I'm hoping we're going to play some exciting football because we did do that a few years ago and we were really enjoy ourselves on the pitch. I do wonder, though, does Arteta tell them to a certain point how much to play? Because I look at Martinelli and he had so much freedom a few years back and now he's not the player he was. So I do have a bit of questions about Arteta's sort of management, but I'm going to give it a bit of time. Obviously, we're going to have to see what happens. But yeah, I am happy with the result, not the performance.
Yeah. I think Arsenal had, I think Arsenal's having a good window, but like the problem is that I feel like their recruitment in this window is kind of similar to what I said about Ange last year. Like their recruitment was for the window that they want to be living in and not the window that they're in. You know what I mean? Like you've seen like basically 2.5 Death Star offenses have been created in this window and you're recruiting for last year. Like you're like the recruitment this year would have won the league last year.
Yeah.
But like you've all moved on to a different point this year. And so when you're talking about like the firepower to compete with a City, a Liverpool, like even potentially Spurs, like, you know what I mean? Like when you're talking about, we need to be able to go toe to toe with these guys. And you're just like, well, we hope that Saliba and Gabriel are going to be strong enough to pull out 1-0 victories. I'm kind of like, I don't know if that's the world we're living in.
Yeah, I mean, we can only hold on to a certain point. I mean, as I mentioned before, we were lucky with some of the decisions that went our way, but yeah, I think it's tough as well because we can't always rely on like set pieces to get us through the games. Sometimes it will, and I'll take that any day of the week. But yeah, I think last summer was a really bad window. I think, like you said, if we had this window maybe last summer, I think we might be a bit behind this season, but I think we'll compete, but I don't know how far we will be behind like a Liverpool. I do really think Liverpool will win the league this season. I think Chelsea will be up there as well, but I think Arsenal and City, I think will be a bit closer to Liverpool. But I just hope, for me, we just have to win something this season. But I do have my worries, and it's only early on, and I'm just not looking forward to the game against Leeds. I'm really not.
Wow. Yeah, you should beat Leeds. But so I kind of feel guilty bantering you because you're so sweet and quiet.
Oh, no, it's fine.
I'm just used to having this awful hatred for Arsenal. It just comes out. I can't control it.
I've heard all the jokes before, don't worry.
But I just don't see them having it. When you look, I look at Liverpool and I go, wow, you could see them winning a treble. You look at City and you go, wow. I look at Arsenal and I just don't see them having enough to do it. And I just think if Arteta doesn't win you something this year, surely this guy's got to go. I mean, for me, I hope he stays forever and ever. But as Arsenal fans, surely he's got to go if he doesn't win you something big this year.
I don't think he's going.
How many years are we going to stay that? I'm sorry. Like, that's crazy to me.
I know, because I remember chatting with a Newcastle fan like 2 years ago, and he said he's got to go this season. And the next season comes, we don't win anything. It's a cycle that I worry that we're going in, where we're just going to be that team that finishes second. Arteta is actually here till 2027, I think. So I don't think he would ever leave. Like, I don't think the Kroenke, the board would get him to leave. I think they see top 4 as success, but I don't know. I do think, as you've mentioned, you have to win something and just end this. But yeah,
so true. So true.
Imagine Miguel being so sweet and charming.
Listen, I got a great vibe, but wind up merchant for sure.
God, he sets himself up so bad though.
Oh, definitely.
Staffy's clipped up a video of him from a few weeks ago where he said there's no way that Spurs will get Eze. I think Eze will go and stay in the Spurs hotel while he comes
Yeah.
to sign at the Emirates, and it's like, we've got receipts.
You think he would learn just to not say things sometimes,
Exactly.
but you know.
Exactly.
Every YouTube fan base has that. I have Hamza, so.
Oh,
yeah, that's true.
That's too funny.
Professor Hamza.
The professor himself. Listen, can I rant now? Is that allowed?
Yeah, go ahead.
Wait, let me say my spiel first, and then we'll give you all the time you need. I had like 10 thoughts to say, but I think Arsenal, their window, they recruited a bunch of like depth pieces, which I do think they needed, but they didn't get a difference maker, and I think that's what they needed. I know they think Gyökeres is going to be, but like I said, I saw this all last season. If you're not getting the ball to your striker and he's not putting in the net, he's very easy to mark out of a game. And he got marked out by De Ligt. Yikes. They're going to need time to kind of gel with him, because it does take time to readjust. Because when you've been playing kind of with a false nine system, which he has for the past couple of years without a striker, it does take some time to integrate that back in. I mean, unless you have a world-class Kevin De Bruyne feeding the striker, which we had, it made it much easier. So I would say kind of prepare for that to be an issue for a little while. And yeah, that midfield definitely lacks creativity. But I think the style, this defense, I think it's the best defense in probably Europe. Very, very good defense. Yeah. And you are pretty deadly on set pieces. I think that style translates more to the cups. So I could see you making some cup runs. Yep. I won't say Champions League yet, because I'm not ready to say that. But like, I would say you guys should definitely be. I know they're just the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, but I think you guys should make a serious run at those. I would be trying really hard, because you need to give your fan base some like hope. And I know they'll always be the ones like, oh, this isn't good enough. I'm like, it's better than nothing, which is what you've been winning for 5 years. So outside of a community shield, like, okay,
that's not really.
No one cares about that, and we all know that thing is cursed. So nice.
Yeah, we know what you did, Liverpool. Oh, we know. Looking at you, Gigi. Using on purpose.
Me? Never. But Kelsey, you could also see that, like, because when Havertz came in, they could get the ball to him. Like, it's so like they were just practiced in playing that way, and so they're going to need to figure out a different way to play to get Gyökeres the ball.
Yeah. I think I'm trying to inverting some fullbacks might help. Like, I know everybody's like done with Zinchenko, but like he did that really well at City. And he did that under Arteta too at City. So that might be an option, because you need another body in the midfield, because you kind of lose that when you're not playing the false nine. And it's much easier to build up when you have more midfielders in the midfield, which you have in a false nine. And now that you've taken that out and you've got a striker who's likely not going to be super involved, because it's very rare to find like a Kane who can actually do that, be a false nine and a nine at the same time. Like, that's very rare. He's got a very unique skill set. So trying to find an extra body to put in the midfield, I think would help you. I don't know if maybe play somebody on the wing who's you can invert in, do it that way. Like that could be an option. And then maybe kind of like invert him in and then play like a 4-4-2 with Saka in a sense, like, quote unquote, something like that. That might be interesting to try. So that's up to the manager though. He needs to figure this kind of stuff out.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think you mentioned a great point as well, that we needed to bring in a difference maker, and I think it's hard with Gyökeres, because if he can only do so much on his own, if we're not going to be creative, then it's not going to work out. I do think I have my worries, but I think because it's so early on, I'll see what happens. But there has actually been an update as well now, and it's making me worried. So apparently Trossard has signed a new deal, which is telling me that we're not going to.
I saw that. I didn't want to say that to you live.
I haven't. I've just checked my phone.
For how long?
Where does it say?
The contract length is not extended. They're just paying him more money. The contract length is the same, but they're just upping his salary. Look.
Oh, it's one of those.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's hilarious.
I don't know.
That doesn't always work either, though. We did that to Bernardo Silva. Now we can't get rid of him.
I would actually keep Trossard and get rid of Martinelli, but if we keep them both, it's just going to be the same season, really. It's just, I feel like we're going around in a cycle. I just really do. I like Trossard. I'd rather him play than like a Martinelli, but Trossard's more of a bench player for me, which is our problem. So I don't know what to say now.
Well, Well, the rumors today were that Rodrigo was going to stay at Real Madrid because the Savio deal, from what I've heard, has collapsed.
Yeah.
So, sorry about that, Kate. You're not getting Savio. And if you want to
Thank
blame somebody,
goodness.
you can blame David Levy or Daniel Levy because he's not paying. He's not paying up.
No, it's not that. It's not that. They said the TEO, whoever that is, at City, I can't remember his name, has completely blocked the move and said they won't allow him to leave.
I don't think that's true.
Really?
I don't think Soriano is the guy. He's in charge of the CFG. I don't think he's blocking transfers.
My main
we are
concern
very
was
specific when we want a deal done. Like, we're very specific on a fee, and it's not just the fee; it's the how you pay it out. And so my guess is that he just doesn't want to. He doesn't want to pay out like more upfront. He wants to spread it out over longer periods, and we're just like, nah. But I have heard that is dead. But I mean, we still have 2 weeks of the window. We'll find out. But speaking of Rodrigo, I'm going to stay at Real Madrid. He's on the bench. So, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, he's on the bench if he stays, so it's going to be interesting.
Hate that for Kate.
For sure.
Love it for the rest of us. I did not want Rodrigo to go to City.
Oh no!
I think that's the only place he would have gone to. From the stuff I've been hearing, Pep loves him so. But that's always going to be a tough. I'd say we might go back for him next summer though.
Yeah, well, let's still not hope for that. No, I think all of the sentiments on Arsenal are valid. I wouldn't want you guys to lose for forevermore, but I think I would agree. I think, it's just again, it comes down to Arteta and his man management, and is he going to be able to figure out how to utilize these players to the best of their ability to win? And that's not the case. And we've seen it time and time again. And I don't think anyone you've brought in now is going to be able to, like, I think it was Kelsa just said, be that game changer. That is a great point. I think that is what you guys need. Someone to kind of take the game in their hands, which Declan Rice, you could say, has done a bit, but is it enough? I don't know if he's consistent enough in that. So, yeah, I mean, you guys could lose forever. I don't care, but that's just my take on it.
Come on, I'm waiting for this guy's rant. Come on, bring it on.
The fact that my club was a laughingstock when that lineup dropped gave me so much anger, okay? Why in God's green earth would you start Dallo over Ahmad? Like, the lineup that he put out, and then Luke Shaw, whatever, he did okay. But then starting Luke Shaw too, like, I felt like he wanted to draw. Like, that's what it gave me. Like, he was just like, he didn't want to win. He was like, I'm going to go out and just try to hope for the best and get a draw. And if we get a point from them, I'm happy. Whereas we have these players on the bench who can, get in the game, create, have an opportunity to score. I was very upset with that lineup. Now, people are arguing that they agree with Amarim because Ahmad doesn't work with Mbumo. And I'm like, I don't want to hear it. I want you to go into the match every single time with who's available, obviously, and go out to play to win. And to me, that's not what he did, in my personal opinion. Now, I will say, obviously, there's positive of, yes, we looked better creative. Like, that's a given. I think from what we've been, it was nice to see us have those players who attack, who can get the ball and turn, have a good first touch, are looking up, have IQ. God forbid you have a winger who can go down and actually look up and cross the ball instead of just putting it to the side of the net like Garnacho. Like, God forbid we have somebody who can do that. So that was nice. But again, it's that final third piece that we're missing. And we didn't start Šeško, which I understand. I'm not upset about that. It's his first match in the Premier League. I'm okay with him coming off the bench. But again, it's the way that we played with that, because in the first half, I thought we were doing really well, getting chances, getting in the box, but then nobody was there, right? And then we get to the second half and sub him on, and then all of a sudden it stopped. And I'm like, what is happening? I would say, and I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on this, I thought if we had Gyökeres in the first half, I think he could have gotten a goal on our team instead of what happened with Arsenal. That's just my humble opinion. I was just thinking with the way we were playing, we were missing that piece up front because we were using Cunha, and then we had a Mount in, which, yes, Mount started as well. Let's not get into that. So I don't know what Amarim is trying to do. I don't know. And to me, with someone who, let me share this, by the way, because I don't know if any of you guys have seen this stat, which is absolutely crazy and is part of the reason why I just don't know what his thought process is, because you're running out of time. You're running out of time. Okay. And I just wanted to share this with you guys. Let's see if it'll pop up here. So Ruben Amorim has now lost 15 of his 28 Premier League games. This is the fastest a manager has reached 15 defeats in the competition, without taking charge of a newly promoted team in the period since Paul Hart with Portsmouth in 2009. So, yeah, I mean, it's looking at stats, but like that, for me to say that I'm one of the biggest clubs and to have this as my record, we can't win 2 games back to back. What am I supposed to sit here and do with that? And again, yes, I agree that it looks better, but I if we can't score, if we can't win, then it's useless. It really is useless. And
maybe not start Casemiro in your midfield. I'm not here to be right. I'm here to make a point about this. And I will continue to bang the drum on this every single time that he is starting in your midfield. Like, you know, I know that there were a lot of things that United had to address. And to that end, your front three, like your front line looks a lot better. There's a lot there. Mbeumo and Cunha, they will find the chemistry, and that will work. Your midfield will like, girl,
we're gonna die.
You cannot be starting Casemiro in your midfield in the year of our Lord 2025. Like, I'm not gonna let go of this.
Manu didn't touch the pitch. He didn't touch the pitch. I don't know. And then you bring on Ugarte, who literally passed the ball to Kai Havertz. He literally got the ball and passed to Kai Havertz. I said, what in God's green earth am I watching? I could not believe my eyes. I can only imagine being Kobe Manu watching that and being like, I don't get a shot. Because I mean, Kobe's not perfect, but I know he ain't gonna do that. We're so lucky Arsenal were poor. We're so lucky. Because I'm thinking, if I'm seeing this and we're playing Man City, we're playing Liverpool, I'm calling sick. I'm calling in sick.
Well, you only have a few weeks.
Yeah.
You got a derby coming up in
you better drag Casemiro
right after the break
into that midfield.
Rodri might start that game. You never know. Oops.
I'm waiting to play Casemiro in that midfield. You guys better bring it. Roll him out there.
To be fair to Casemiro, I didn't think he was that bad.
This is a long-standing beef that I have, and this
generally I agree.
This is just a theoretical thing. I'm just not able to get over this.
He's not that bad, but like he shouldn't be like our guy starting there. Like,
no, agree.
Nobody right now would be like, "Oh yeah, I want Casemiro in my midfield." Nobody would say that. And so the fact that this is someone who we have starting that we think is the best option to win versus Arsenal concerns me. Like, there's no reason why he should have been there.
And that you brought in Ugarte over Manu. I'm just like,
yeah, that's weird. And I think Luke Shaw as well. I'm not convinced by Luke Shaw. Still, Man United is strange. They've done so well with your front line. I thought Mbeumo had a brilliant debut. So unlucky not to score. I so wanted him at Spurs, although now we're getting Eze. I'm not so worried, but I did want him massively at Spurs. But the midfield and the defence worry me for United. I think there's so much work needs to be done. And obviously, it's like Spurs. You can't do it all in one window. It's impossible. But I still think you need to do more this summer because I think you're going to struggle a little bit more than you need to. I mean, like I say, you will score goals, but it's no good if you let in goals. And that goal was... It reminded me of when Vicario got muscled over and we was all crying about it and all the rivals were going, he needs to be stronger in his box. And the same thing really applied to your keeper. He just got muscled.
It literally gave me like, those little floppy figures in the air that like you see at car dealerships that are like going like this. Like, it literally like Bayern was just like, oh, I'm gonna like try to get the ball, and like didn't even try to punch it. Like he just was flopping in there. Whereas if you look at Raya, who literally went through the same exact situation, held his ground and punched the ball out. So I'm sorry, like I can't hear excuses on that. You let the ball in, and you weren't strong enough, and you let them score, and that honestly killed the momentum for us because I thought. We started off quite strong.
Yeah.
I loved what I was seeing. I was like, Mason Mount, even like I don't rate the guy, but like he was doing okay. I mean, he was even defensively, getting back and getting a challenge there on Saka. So there were some things happening that I liked, but it just killed everything. And I hate that. I hate that too, that our team reacted kind of that way. Whereas, they scored. So now we're going to just like, try to contain them and, not really try to have some teeth, which we saw we could have. We just couldn't finish either. So
what's more important to you, Sky? Get a new goalkeeper or get a better midfielder?
That is
it's
such
gotta
a
be the
question.
goalkeeper.
Yeah,
I think because
like right now you guys are parking a Maserati in like a shed. Like, you know what I mean? Like as long as you leak goals in the back, it doesn't matter what your front line, like it doesn't matter.
I think with too, because like we have Heaven, like there's still some players who didn't touch the pitch. Heaven, I would have started over Luke Shaw. That's just me. I know some people probably wouldn't have agreed with that. Xerxes didn't play as well. Mazraoui is hopefully coming back soon. So defensively, we can hold our own. But we've seen this time and time again too, where our wing backs and our line overcompensate because of who's in goal. And they feel like they have to cover the goal and kind of what they're supposed to be doing. So I would agree. I think goalkeeper would help probably more just for short-term transition because we don't have time right now. We have to improve. Like everyone's saying, give them time. No, we finished 15th last year. We only scored 44 goals in the league. We don't have time right now, in my humble opinion. We got to figure it out. So, yeah,
I agree.
It's like Arteta, it's up to Amorim to how he's going to manage. And if he's going to die on the Portuguese hill of Dalot and using Bruno for 90 minutes when you don't have to do that. And then, the Mason Mounts and the Casa. I don't know if you guys know this, but our manager loves Mason Mount. Like, loves Mason Mount. If this is who you're going to die on because they train hard, or you like what you see in practice, then I don't know what to say. If he doesn't manage well, it's not going to work.
You guys gotta get the keeper though. You got.
Yeah.
You got.
The guy was not that much better. No.
That's.
And then I keep seeing today. The first thing I wake up and I see on my Twitter timeline, it's going to be ready for Sunday. We played Fulham, by the way, and I'm like, that's wonderful.
Wonderful. Are you guys in for Donnarumma at all, or
what'd you say?
Are you guys in for Donnarumma, or
we were supposed to be, but I haven't heard any updates. I don't know if you guys have, but I don't think so anymore.
I'm a little surprised because that is a very United signing.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm actually shocked Chelsea aren't in for him either because
they sign everyone.
After seeing that game on Sunday where they got bailed out by a bad call, Raul Sanchez, you couldn't hit a free kick shot straight at you.
It came right at him.
What are you doing? How is that going to win you a league? Oh, because he won the Club World Cup. Who cares?
Yeah.
The guys are better gassing that up too much. And the Conference League, I mean, respect the Conference League, but I'm like, that doesn't mean you're ready to win the Premier League or the Champions League. Definitely not with Sanchez.
No, I think Chelsea have been madly overrated. But again, like you say, the keeper's such an important part. Don't matter how many goals you score, if you're going to let them in, don't mean nothing.
By the way, we scored 44, but we conceded 54 last season, just to give you some context.
Oh my God. Negative 10 goal difference? Yikes.
That's worse than I thought.
We scored 44 goals last season?
In the league, yes. We only scored 44. But what's crazy, guys, is last night I was watching a stream, Flawless's channel. There are United fans saying, and he said this with his breath, that we would score 92 goals this season. I'm like, do you realize if we score 92 goals, we should be winning the Premier League? What are you talking about? Liverpool scored like 86 or something last season. I don't understand what people are thinking sometimes.
Does every
I
goal
have
count
a
double
bridge
this
to sell
year,
that
or
person. Whoever
90,
that
we
person
can
was, I have
barely,
a bridge
I
to
would
sell
say,
you.
okay, if you say 60, if we're scoring 60 this season, okay, I can hear that. 92?
That's crazy.
It's such an exact number too. Not 92. Like what?
Yeah.
Not 93. Too much. Too
Yeah,
much.
93 is that's too much. Yeah, 91 not quite enough.
All right, we're over an hour. I don't want to keep you guys too much longer, so we're gonna try and get these in quick and talk about last week. Shout out to all of you in the chat as well. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hitting the like button. Everyone's links are in the description, so give them some love.
Yeah,
I
on my
highlighted
channel.
this because you got it spot on there with the 4-2 with the Bournemouth.
I
So
didn't remember.
you got a straight 5 here because you saw a draw, so you get a point because there was no winner as a draw. But yeah, she got 6 for match week 1. Good job.
Wow.
Good job.
This is after me ranting in the chat about being terrible at scoring predictions, and then
Yeah.
they're like, someone got the 4-2 right at Bournemouth Liverpool. I was like, who did that? And they're like, it was you. I was like, no, I forgot what I picked.
All right. Whoever wants to go first, you are more than welcome. We'll do West Ham versus Chelsea and just straight down the list.
Oh God, West Ham versus Chelsea. Is that West Ham?
Yes.
Okay.
They're both crap. Let's be fair. Who's crappier than the other?
Just to give, West Ham just got destroyed by Sunderland. So, I mean, they are at home, so they might want to fight back, but West Ham do not look good. I was watching that game.
I'm going to go 3-1 Chelsea. I hate
I'll say
doing
2-1.
that.
I'll say 2-1 Chelsea.
I think 3-0 Chelsea. West Ham looks terrible.
Sophie?
I think I'm going to 3-0 Chelsea.
Okay. Man City, Tottenham.
I'm loving your predictions, Sky. Straight away, 3-2.
Oh, I feel like bogey. I'm loving it.
I'm struggling with this one, but I'm gonna say I'll say 2-1 City. I'm debating between 3-2 City, but I'll just say 2-1.
I've got 3-2 City.
Yeah, me too.
Boo. Boo. Double boo.
Hey.
I'm going to go for Desmond and go 2-2 for this one.
Okay. I love it. All right.
Whoa. Someone said Richarlison over Holland in the chat. Have you ever watched football before?
Wait, did you see that? What is it? Bicycle scissor kick?
Those are the only goals he scores. He can't do a simple tap in. All he does is the volleys.
Class.
Yeah, chat, please put your predictions too, of course.
Arsenal leads. Ooh.
I went crazy.
What have you done?
4-0
Arsenal.
4-0? Jeez.
I think they're going to be pissed.
I have 2-0.
It's at the Emirates too, so they'll be gassed up for that.
You said 2-0?
Yeah.
Is that the right box? It was not.
I'll say 3-0.
Oh.
I would love to give Leeds a goal because for Brendan Aronson, but I always back the Americans.
Go on, Soph. It's your club. What are you going?
I'm going to go 3-1 to Arsenal. I think they'll definitely score, but I'm praying to myself that we'll be putting in a much better performance. So I'll go 3-1.
Oh. It just makes me feel ill predicting them to win. I'm going to go 2-1 Arsenal.
Yay.
Unfortunately.
All right. Fulham United. Come on, everybody. Aren't you so excited to watch this one?
Oh, if Anana's in goal.
It's at the cottage, too.
It sure is.
If it's Anana in goal, I'm going 7-0 Fulham.
Hey, put some disrespect on my back line. That's crazy. Put some respect.
I'm going to say 3-1 Fulham. Full America, baby. Let's go. Although we're down to one American there, so.
3-1. To Fulham, not to
Oh,
United.
yeah, I did that wrong. Sorry.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going Fulham on this one.
I'm going to go
Even
1-0.
though that game was absolutely dreadful. I thought I watched the 3:00 game. I watched Fulham and Brighton, and that game was.
Oh yeah.
The game was not good. Brighton really dropped off.
I would say Villa and Newcastle didn't have a good game either.
No.
I actually
like
caught
that
the
game.
last 10 minutes of that because I had insomnia and I woke up at like 5:45, so I like turned it on for. So I joined Steve's watch along for like 10 minutes and saw him melt down.
He was fuming. Sophie, Gigi,
2-2.
I'll go 1-1.
all right, Newcastle, Liverpool.
Oh,
I went for the upset. 2-1, Newcastle. They're at home. They're pissed off. I said they're going to beat them.
Oh. I'll go 3-2 Liverpool. Their class showing through at the end again. That's what I'm predicting.
Yeah, solid
I'll
doing
say
solid things.
2-2.
Jimbo saying 3-0 to the mighty Spurs against Man City. That's my husband all over. Look at that. I'm not even giving you a goal.
That would be impressive to keep a clean sheet against
It would.
this behemoth of the front line.
It would.
I have 2-2 as well.
Yeah, I've got that as well.
Yeah, because Newcastle, they tend to draw a lot of these big games at.
They do.
It's at St. James's Park, so
It is.
And a lot of them they tend to draw because I feel like we've gotten a couple draws there the past few seasons. Our disaster of a team last year got a draw there, so it was like because we went to St. James last season the next game after Rodri had gotten injured, and somehow Rico Lewis, Bernardo Silva, and Gundogan, the tall one at 5'7". Somehow they got a draw against Joe Linton and Tonali and Bernard Guimaraes. So anything's possible there.
I think Newcastle are going to have someone sent off in that game.
I can see it.
We'll say Joe Linton.
Oh, absolutely.
Start putting that.
Prime time
bonus
cinema.
points. Bonus points if someone gets sent off. We should have we'll take revenge for Savinho. If you're trying to get upset, get upset at your chairman who's not he's not paying the price.
Yeah. That's not like Daniel Levy at all.
Daniel Levy loves City. Like he's the biggest fan of City. Like
Exactly.
He's loved them forever. After we paid at the time, which everybody flipped out about, $50 million for Kyle Walker. That guy's just had it in for us. I'm like, you accepted the money and you agreed to the deal, so I don't know what your stick is. And then we offered you about 150 for Kane, and he said no to that. And I don't get what his problem is.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining, ladies. Thanks for tuning in. This was a lot of fun. It definitely made the match week a lot of fun to watch too, just to chat with you guys as the matches are going on. So I'm really looking forward to this, and I can't wait to see how these turn out. Shout out to Kate's audience as well, again, for hanging out with us. Is there anything that you guys have going on this week that you want to share before we wrap things up?
We have a show tomorrow, hopefully, where we will announce that Eze has got the Here We Go, please God. And then on Friday, and on Fridays at 12:30, we do a Premier League preview where we preview every game in the Premier League. So we've got that going on over on Kate and Jimbo at the minute. But thank you. Oh, this was loads of fun. Much more fun with girls than it is with boys.
Definitely. We just got to get a Chelsea fan in here, so hopefully we can figure that out.
Once they start winning, you'll find them.
I'm taking 5 points off their total if they come in after they start winning. That's crazy.
They start at -5.
Exactly. Anybody else? Shout outs before we head out.
Or there's some questions you said you were going to do at the end.
Yeah. There's
we can do those really quick.
Yeah.
Somebody said something about next season. Oh, one of the top 4 teams will underperform. Which one do you think, as nothing given? I guess which one of the top 4 teams will underperform?
Arsenal.
I was going to say Arsenal too.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone else really.
I can see Chelsea having some issues because, as we saw in that Crystal Palace snore fest.
And Gigi, I wanted to ask you. You brought up something about Palmer, so I wanted to let you. You were talking about Palmer not scoring open play since January.
Yeah,
you have an agenda there.
8 months without open play Premier League goal.
Yeah.
So if you're going to rip on Phil Foden, you might want to take a look in the mirror at your own boy.
Exactly that.
This is a really good question. Maybe we can answer that another stream, but I would love to hear this too, why everyone supports the team they do. Because, some of us are in America. Some, you guys, 2 of you are over in the UK. So that'll be fun.
Some of us are just sadists that like pain and despair.
I found Man City in 2006 after the first game of football I ever watched was the World Cup game between USA and Italy. And I just kind of started following Americans from that team. And at the time, this is before the takeover, Man City had they were not a very good team. So they had Americans on their team because Americans are not very good. So they had Claudio Reyna and I kind of followed him from that World Cup. So that's how I found the team. And it took me a little while to kind of start watching them, but that's when I found them.
Love it.
I found Spurs in 80, no, probably before a lot of you were born. 83. I got taken to my first game in 84 and was hooked ever since. Just love them.
By family?
By family, yeah. And then I met my husband.
It's their fault, not yours.
Yeah, it's their fault. And then 25 years ago, I went to a game. I was meant to be working. And I had the day off. Went to a match and met my husband. 36,000 people at White Hart Lane, and we met. We were sitting. He was sat behind me. And the rest is history.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
So do you guys just start chatting as the game was going on?
Yeah, he asked me for my phone number, and I just thought, what? And then after 5 minutes, I'd given it to him, and we would just text the whole way through. And neither of us can remember what game we watched because we just text the whole way through the game.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
So yeah,
that's very sweet. Gigi?
I found my way to Liverpool by way of the England national team and Trent.
Nice.
Oh, you sure do love some Trent now, don't you?
I mean, that's why I fell in love with Liverpool and why my heart was broken. But we are where we are.
Yeah. Sophie?
Well, a big reason for me was because of Arsene Wenger when he was here. I love watching Sanchez and Ozil. They were so good to watch. They were my childhood heroes. So yeah, those were really a big part of why I started supporting Arsenal really. But I think Wenger, even though we were sort of in a decline when I started supporting Arsenal, he's the reason why I supported Arsenal really.
And if I remember correctly, your family's Liverpool fans, right?
Yeah, this is so crazy. My story is a lengthy story, but I live up in England, I live up north. So I'm sort of between Liverpool and Manchester. So I'm surrounded by Liverpool fans. So yeah, it's always an interesting game, especially when we play Liverpool, because half my family is rooting for Liverpool, and I'm just there on my own, just rooting for Arsenal. But yeah, it's crazy. My story is not really that. I could go on for ages, but that's pretty much why I supported Arsenal, really.
Yeah, mine was Ronaldo. Because I'm just a girl. But it was very recent. Because I always knew Ronaldo. And I was really invested in the 2022 World Cup. I hadn't really watched that much football in my whole life. And so I was watching every single game. I was at work with 5 screens. And I just fell in love with the sport. And that final, I was I have to keep watching because that final between France and Argentina was so good. And then I wanted to see where Ronaldo was. And it's just weird because Ronaldo did the Piers Morgan interview before the World Cup, and then he didn't even go back to United. But I was where did Ronaldo come from? And then researched Man United, and then it picked me really. And then I was watching, and we lost 7-0 to Liverpool, and it was just downhill from there. So it's great. Great. But thank you guys again. We're gonna wrap this up. Again, everyone's links are in the description, and I am looking forward to next week. So thank you guys. We're going to go ahead and head out. Goodbye.